Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to midweek missions. It's midweek, Monday, and we're doing missions. So the theme of today's stream is all about, as I've come higher through the various mission levels and we've done some escalation missions. We initially started testing the drones at long range, staying as far away as possible. Then when we did the Serpentis Narcotic Warehouse, we had to embrace close range, so we evolved the strategy that way. But now I've encountered NPCs. Some of the NPCs, if you look at a mission I did this morning, it was a Serpentis mission, and that's the one, 11 mil I got for taking that lot down. But the core High Admiral and the core Rear Admiral is an NPC which took quite a bit of destroying. So what that meant is that it slowed down the kill rate. I'd elected not to go one drone, one target in that particular instance, and I ended up with most of the shields initially on full scale deflection. Didn't get as far as the armour, but probably over 75% of the shield went before I could eventually kill it, and it got in too close and I had to release the Hobgoblins. I'm hours away from being able to use the Ogre 2, and that'll be a different ball game, but for now we're going to focus on the real long range. This mission here I did was in low sec, and it was just an open mission. I then followed it up with Serpentis Den, which went okay actually, but that was close on 4 million, and you can see the NPCs there which I dealt with for that. So I'm going to just see if I can bring up the fit, because I've made a few changes. So it's all about range. If we just do a quick simulate, taking the notice of the capacitor, because it's with the way I've fitted the ship, the 50 meganewton compact warp drive, which I chose to use because I can use it in bursts rather than the smaller one, which gave me a quarter of the speed. So I've elected for it to behave like that. So if you just look at where we're working for targeting, we've got 115 kilometers, and for drone control range we've got 130 kilometers. So warping in at that 100 kilometer mark, launching the Wardens and trying to dissolve anything before, in some of the lower level areas, is kind of the target, because that means when I go back into low sec, which I'm not going to do this evening, I go into low sec in the mornings when it's quiet. So that is the fit and the the magic behind the extended range. It's not one but two sensor boosted 2s, and we've got two drone link augmented 2s and a drone link augmented 1. Okay, so that is the that is the secret of the range. And then tank was still the same, damage control 2, multi-spectrum energized membrane 2, and a multi-spectrum shield hardener 2. So all tech 2 apart from the one drone link augmentor, which I downgraded to use a little bit less CPU. Sacrificed a bit of range, but at those ranges that we're talking about there, it's more than enough for the type of mission I want to run in this ship. So overall, with the simulator on, 539.7 DPS, 19223 EHP. Now 19223 EHP isn't enough for PvP, isn't enough for some of the missions that where some of these NPCs get up close and personal, but I'm controlling the tank by keeping away from them. Range tank, I think you guys call it. Okay, so that's the background, that's what we're doing. Let's have a look at the opportunities tab. Well, Forlorn Hideaway, we'll have that. It's level 1, but we always get a nice turnout from the Serpentis. It's a good way to start the evening. So it's in the current system, so I will start the modules as soon as we come out the gate. So that's our 2 sensor boosters and our multi-spectrum shield hardener, and we'll warp this way, and I can come in a lot nearer, but I'm just going to try and make sure the plus 100 kilometers works. Done this mission many times before, but not quite like this. NPC tab is on, quick check on targets, and we should be ready to deploy the Wardens and lock up. Not necessarily in that order. Warden's away, and I'm electing to not one drone, one target. I'm electing for all the drones to focus on one target. Everything is locked up. We'll just take them out in red. Now that is fine. But if you recall, I tried to warp in at 100. So they're shortchanging me here. But we can still test the strategy, and we can see whether we can do where we're leaving the wrecks. We can see if we can do a reasonable warp speed, because when I'm in low sec, you don't want to be messing around at 200 meters per second. You want to be over 1,000 meters per second to get on those wrecks and start salvaging. Corellian spy chief. Is one which usually takes a tiny bit longer. There are no high or rear admirals in this show. We've got a few misses, which is quite unusual, but we'll just keep an eye on it and see how it goes.
To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target.
Okay, so beauty sentry drones is they're never far away. So let's approach, let's whack the micro warp drive on and see if that capacitor gets us 61 kilometers before it runs out. We are running just short of 1500 meters per second, which is fast by comparison. I'm going to knock the warp drive off as we get there. I'll do. Okay, just over half gone. We got enough left in the capacitor to give it another dab. In fact, that's gone quite well actually. I don't do any orbiting. I don't orbit anything. That's not the doctrine that I'm using. It's all about get in, drop the drones, kill everything, get out. Anything that's less than 10,000 away, I'll give the micro warp drive a dab. Oh, that was a good one. It jumped up by 3 million. Which isn't bad for a little level 1 site like this. But of course, as I've found, working at long range, the challenge isn't just about killing the NPCs, it's all about getting in, getting looted, getting out as quickly as possible, because the loot is worth it at this level. Never used to bother when we were doing it on Garistas. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's go back to the station.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Good evening, Jack Essex. How you doing? Pleased to see you. Thanks for joining.
Commuters are advised, protests are currently disrupting promenade traffic. Visit the promenade to witness our democracy in action.
We got a drone cluster. It's only level 1. Serpentis hideaway is only level 1. Serpentis refuge sometimes gives us a bit of a benefit. Let's have a go. It's one jump away, so we won't start the modules yet.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
While I'm in this neck of the woods, I'm not gonna hang around. So let's just burn up a little bit, utilise that capacitor.
Autopilot jump.
That was quite cool.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
There we go, Serpentis refuge. Let's walk within 100 and then start the modules up. We're on the NPC tab. We've got a tower sentry, so let's have that out first before we do anything else. And you can see why. He's on me already, even at 103. Helps if you get the wardens out. You're dead. Let's have the light missile battery out as well. They were already on it, thankfully. And let's lock the rest up. The wardens are actually doing okay without me. Auto firing. And that's a good thing. Look at this though, over 100 kilometers, not a problem. These are your Commoner Garden Serpentis, the Corelli Protector, the Corelli Guard, the Corelli Trooper. These are all the bog standard stuff, so we've got to make sure that we can erase those very, very easily. Look at that. No hesitation. What, 2 seconds? And it's 4, I think the specification is 4 seconds between rounds. So this is confirming nicely. Yeah, the Corelli Sentinels, there is a few misses, which is fine. Is that Shadow Serpentis Soldier? And as I've just been paid $500,000, I presume that's the end. Let's get the drones. Get looted. Well, look at that. The nearest one is 94 kilometers away. Let's see whether the capacitor can get us all the way over there when we use the warp drive. So let's just approach and micro warp drive on immediately. Okay, I shut it down when we got the warning, which is fine because that'll make a good reference point. And let's open cargo. It's just a nice speed to loot actually without the warp drive. So I'm not gonna make any recommendations that you fit a ship like this. The ship is fitted for something very specific. If you're into orbiting while you're shooting, great. But this fit is probably not for you because you'll exhaust the capacitor very quickly. That's not what I want. If I can warp up, micro warp up in less than a minute, I'm happy. Okay, and we're done. Taking so far this evening 3.8 million.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Beautiful. Okay. So 439 to add to our 3 mil, which is fine.
Support your fellow citizens.
So that mission is completed. Let's do another Serpentis refuge. I'm going to say let's do it because I just want to practice the tower sentry.
Autopilot engaged.
Getting that tower sentry locked up, getting those wardens out immediately. I'm going to try and do it before he starts dealing damage, because that deals damage straight away. From over 100 kilometres. Not that difficult to take out, but you've got to be able to shoot that range.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Okay, Serpentis refuge. 100 kilometres, please.
Drive active.
Modules on. Here we are, tower sentry Serpentis. Wouldn't let me look up straight away. Okay, it's locked. Warden's out. Fire. Beautiful. Now we'll have that missile battery out as well. Beautiful. The bangs you can hear are actually the drones firing on the target. Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy that operating at this range, the firepower is good, the accuracy. I don't think there's any issues. Oh. We're done. Okay. Warden's back. And the nearest one is 87 kilometres. Let's see if we can do it on that capacitor. Approaching. (1492 meters per second). And I think we're gonna do it comfortably. I'll stop it when we get the okay, let's stop that. That worked quite well. But let's see if we can kill something greater than 100 meters. And our total takings in value of cargo is 4.25 million, which is okay. And we'll get back to the station.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Jump the queue. That is quite cool.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to station. Warp drive active. Approaching station.
So just a reminder, taking so far 4,250. And payments so far,
Docking permission requested.
not quite $1 million in bounties.
Accepted. Docking permission requested. Autopilot disabled.
But these are quite low level, and whilst we're just proving, I'm not too concerned. So, Serpentis Refuge complete. We've got another Serpentis Refuge. Excellent. It's level 2. Set our destination and on dock. See if we can get everything deleted within greater than 90.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping.
That worked quite well.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Okay, what have we got? Serpentis Refuge, 100 kilometers. Let's go. Having cloaked, everything disables. And you are locked. Tower Sentry Serpentis gets us again. But I got him at 101 kilometers, which is pretty good. The Corellis are advancing pretty swiftly. The vast majority are 100 plus.
Drone requires you to have an active target.
The other thing I was aware of this morning is that the High Admirals and the Rear Admirals, yeah, it took a while for them to kill, and what didn't help was I went for them relatively early on, which meant everything was advancing while I was doing it, so probably good to leave those
To give
towards the end.
requires you to have an active target. To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target.
Yeah, the Serpentis are buggers for sensor dampening,
To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target.
although you usually get a red spot there. However, nah, some of them got as far as 81. That's okay. It's warp up and or micro warp up. We'll knock the warp off when it alarms at 75% or 25% left. What happened then? Got it that time. And that's the lot.
Autopilot engaged.
199. Good job we're not doing it for the money.
Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Moving to station. Warp drive active.
$200k in bounties.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Thank you.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Okay. Serpentis refuge complete.
In the heat of
Serpentis hideaway. They're usually quite easy.
now available in blue.
But again, confirming range. Let's see if we can get everything above 90 kilometers.
Warp drive active.
Three days left on my kill rights from the attempted gank. That would have been 27 days ago, with 3 days left on the kill right. Do that one.
Active.
Okay, Warden's away. Forgot to start the modules up. Warden's really away. Locking up at 107. Nice.
To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target. give the commands to a drone requires you to have an active target. To give the commands to a drone requires you to have an active target.
That's it. Warden's home. Now that first one is 99 kilometers. Let's see if we can get there on the micro warp drive on 3/4 of a capacitor. I'll knock it off when we get the warning. Let's give it another dab. Let's take it all the way. If it'll go. Capacitor is empty at 23 kilometers. Less than ideal. And that'll do, I think. Okay, the capacitor is off. Let's walk back.
Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to station. Warp drive active. Approaching station.
Okay, when we've docked, I think we'll do the drone cluster. Alvi and his friends.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Let's see if it can drop us in at a good range we can test our strategy at.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, it's in the current system. So I'm going to knock the autopilot off.
Warp drive active. Autopilot disabled. No waypoint set.
That didn't go as planned. Although I think my default is set to warp in at 70. Because I just did warp to site. Let's see, we'll deal with whatever we're given with. Yeah, we've gone in. Get the module started. This shouldn't be a difficult site.
give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target.
And that's it. No loot, which is fine.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to station. Warp drive active. Approaching station.
It's a quiet night tonight. Just looking at the E-bus telemetry. 22,711 capsuleers online, which is usual.
Docking permission requested.
Haven't seen anyone tonight.
Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Okay, let's have a look at the opportunities again. What's left now we're in here? Okay, given the time that has elapsed on the stream, been going for about an hour and 20, I'm going to take a visit to Basgarin. Basgarin is just in Losec. But we'll get straight in and get to the station and look at the opportunities there.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping.
My stand-ins with Eden Com are plain, no interaction at all.
Moving to Stargate.
But I'm only passing through. This is where we'll use the micro warp drive just to make sure we get through the gate as quickly as possible.
Approaching Stargate.
I'm on the targets tab, nobody else around,
Autopilot jumping.
and this is our last stop. We're going into a low security system. It's 0.4 Basgarin, and that's where we're going, the Federation Customs Training Facilities. Where we will stay while we have a look at the opportunities at this end of the system.
Approaching station. Docking request accepted. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Phew. Quite disappointing, actually. I was expecting to see quite a bit of the Serpentis den. So, not interested in the war grid. Even though because it's a 0.4, it will be, it's likely to be deserted. No problem. We will go back to Curtin, I think, and see what's available there. We'll undock.
Autopilot engaged. Moving to Stargate. Warp drive active.
time is 4 minutes to midnight in the UK. We're broadcasting from Bristol. We're broadcasting to Twitch, Kick, YouTube and Trovo. We always broadcast to YouTube when we're not DJing with music. And when we are, we use Mixcloud. Hence this evening, no Mixcloud.
Autopilot jumping. Moving to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping.
Breathe a sigh of relief. We're at 0.8 now.
Moving to Stargate. Warp drive active.
So we're recording VODs on Twitch
Approaching
Kick.
Stargate.
and YouTube. On Twitch, the VOD will be active for 14 days. On Kick, it will be active for 7 days. And on YouTube, it will be saved permanently. So YouTube is the archive where you will find everything, even the tracks that were broadcast with music.
Autopilot.
And to listen to the music, you have to play the track in parallel with the Mixcloud track, which is linked in the video description.
Moving to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Moving to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Moving to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to station. Warp drive active. Approaching station.
Okay, once we get inside, we'll empty our cargo hold, and then we'll see what other opportunities there are.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Okay, so 4.3 mils worth in the cargo hold. Obviously you have to sell them to realise that value, but it's a reasonable guide. And even though I've been running some of the more expensive items back to Jita, we've still got 678, which is 29 mils worth. Okay. Now let's see what we got in the way of opportunities. Current system, Serpentis Hideaway, where we will embrace the Serpentis Tower Sentry. Do anything in the current system, especially as there doesn't appear to be anybody about. It's a 0.8 system anyway.
Autopilot disabled. No waypoint set.
Only warpath. Let's just dock again.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Ah, no longer available. Drone assembly level 2, 1 jump. Let's have some of that.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Okay.
Warp drive active.
Ah, another person. Modules active. $105 kilometers. Gone. No problem. And that's it. Drones recalled. No loot to deal with. Let's make our way back.
Autopilot engaged. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active. Approaching Stargate. Autopilot jumping. Warping to station. Warp drive active.
Let's double check the opportunities tab again. Drone assembly completed. Plenty of Serpentis refuge, but I think we've proven the strategic method to just get the additional range. So I think what I'm going to do, I am going to get up early in the morning
Docking permission requested.
and go over to Basgarin,
Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested.
and I may come online.
Waypoint reached.
It's Monday. It was Monday evening when the stream started. midnight in the UK, and I'm going to bring the stream to a close. There's been zero activity in terms of viewers, just a few of the regulars, but that's fine. Watch the video. There will be a VOD on Twitch, a VOD on Kick, which will be deleted after 14 days, and a permanent live stream instant replay on YouTube. So, good night.